Tim, what are your first impressions of the fashion?
Well, Dave, it's been a really exciting night, and there's been a lot of glistening glamour, a lot of sparkle. And we have metallics everywhere, we have embellishment everywhere, and we have really stunning, beautiful looking grooming. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, what I love is...
I used to dress like a real dog till I started wearing Levitt. Levitt makes the greatest tops and bottoms.
Rescue workers are racing against time, searching through the rubble, trying to find as many survivors as they can.
Your clothes look great.
Their magazine ads tell me how to put it all together.
People look good, you look great.
And Levitt is always coming out with something new.
But for the most part, scenes of complete desperation. A huge crowd has gathered near the building site, many of them family members looking for loved ones. And they say they can still hear people screaming from underneath the rubble, crying out for help. Many are simply losing hope.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Don't you love it?
I used to hate the way I looked. Now I love it.
As the death toll rises, there's also anger on the streets. The 8-story commercial building housed several garment factories, and now thousands of workers have taken to the streets to protest the safety problems which they say continues to plague their industry.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Don't you love it?
We no longer define clothing as the things we put on our body to cover ourselves up. It's become so much more. We now define clothing as an expression of oneself and society as a whole. It's a phenomenon that has engulfed the globe and has yet to let up. This fashion culture has impacted our world in ways no one would have expected, and it seems like the consequences have slipped right past us. But that's just my opinion. So I took myself to the public to see what others have to say.
How would I describe my style? I guess I would say I'd like to think classy, but I don't know, just sort of clean. Yeah.
No, I'd say I'm a pretty hip guy, you know. I'm normally into fashion trends. I'm not looking like, not wearing like old fashioned or anything. I'm like normally wearing like pretty hype stuff, things that are in.
Fashion companies have increasingly become masters of their craft. They know how their consumers' minds work. Years ago, there were 4 seasons. Now, there are 52 micro-seasons. As so many new trends come out week after week, people are just put under pressure to always be on top of the trends, buying more and more clothing so that they can be deemed fashionable.
Audio preview.
When we have global celebrities like Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, their influences can reach anyone in the world with access to the internet. When one celebrity does something, it creates a phenomenon, and people just seem to follow whatever they do. It's a constant cycle of putting new styles in and old styles out.
From reality star to fashion icon, Kim Kardashian is one of Hollywood's most fashion-forward celebrities, with a permanent posse of paparazzi.
We're moving way too fast to see the ramifications of what's happening. But all we need to do is take a step back and look around.
I think fashion somewhat influences how our society works. Just in how whatever is the coolest trend, people just try to emulate that.
I think the fashion culture does influence our society because I feel like if people don't wear like the latest styles or like they have clothes that look kind of old or unusual, like we judge them.
I do believe that our society reflects on like the fashion culture because a lot of people make fun of other kids about what they wear sometimes just because it's not the popular thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Like when you step on the basketball court and you're wearing like ugly basketball shoes and you're not even wearing basketball shoes. Like when I go on the basketball court, I never really had basketball shoes and I'd always wear tennis shoes, and I think I was always judged based on that. I think society does judge people based on, especially with brands, like, there's a certain brand, but if you have like a knockoff version of that, but it's like the same type thing, people judge you for it, even though it's the same quality, it's just not a certain brand. So I guess it has influenced society a lot more than I originally thought, now that I think about it, you know?
Especially in school, I feel like, well, school can be an example. It's like you judge people by like what they wear. So if they're wearing like clothes that you recognize, you might think like they're cooler, or like, oh, I can relate to that person kind of. And like, I think we tend to judge each other a lot on what we wear.
In today's video, I'm gonna be showing you all the clothes that I have received and purchased at Fashion Nova.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a Marks & Spencer's clothing haul for you.
What's up guys, it's Aaron here, one half of the Rhodes Bros, and today I'm going to be going through all of my new spring clothes that I just got.
What's good, my Brand Flakes viewers? Thank you guys for tuning into another video, and this video is going to be on my recent clothing pickups. I have a couple of things from H&M, PacSun, and as well as Nike. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Alright you guys, so starting off this video,
the U.S. is a society of consumers. We're at the mercy of the fashion industry, who expertly market their clothing to us and watch us spend away. According to the Chief Design Officer for California Closet, the average American only wears about 20% of the clothing in their closet on a regular basis. I took this fact to the public to see how they would react.
It's such a waste of clothes. Like, people go shopping all the time, but they don't, like, what's the purpose if you're not going to wear the clothes you buy? I feel like it's normal. It's just, we spend a lot, but we just never wear the clothes we buy. Because we're materialistic. Like, they just want new things all the time. And it's like, since trends like come out like so quickly and so fast, like they just want to keeping up with it, even if it doesn't suit their style. They're just like, oh, I need to buy it because it's a new trend kind of thing.
I feel like a lot of people only wear 20%. I feel like I buy it and I say I'm gonna wear it, but I never really get around to wearing it.
I feel like it's not that good because it like feels like such a waste of money if we're just wearing 20%, but like it's become such a bad habit that a lot of people do, including myself.
It doesn't really surprise me because I feel like part of our culture is just like wanting to have a lot of stuff. So like we'll buy stuff and maybe we'll wear it like a few times, or like we won't wear it again next year, you know? We're just like kind of wasteful as a culture, I think.
Because people don't really wear the same stuff, or people do tend to wear the same stuff all the time, and they try to wear what's most popular and not what they feel reflects their best interests.
That doesn't surprise me because I do agree that people tend to want more than they need, and they end up only liking a couple items of clothes that they bought. People love to shop. I know I love to shop, but it is kind of crazy. Like, it's just clothing. It is kind of unnecessary to spend all that money when you could be spending it on things that are more important.
On April 24th, 2013, a 5-story commercial building called the Rana Plaza collapsed in Bangladesh, killing over 1,000 people. Many of these people were garment workers, making the clothing that we wear today. The day before that building fell, workers notified the owners of some safety issues, but in order to meet expectations from Western clothing companies, these concerns were ignored. The next day, the building fell. This is considered the deadliest garment factory accident in history.
At the site of the building collapse, more anger. Some of the survivors say they had seen the cracks on one of the floors of the building and they had expressed their concern. And just hours before the 8-story commercial building collapsed on Wednesday, a group of policemen had even inspected the building. But the factory owners said it was safe. The owners of the building and of the factory...
I wondered how others would react to this and how their perception on Western clothing companies would be affected. So I took it to the public.
I did kind of know that like there are people slaving away in factories kind of working to make all these clothes. So I think it is important that these people do get the right regulations and treatment.
I think I think the fashion industry like covers mostly like the flaws in it. I think they try to cover it up, and like hearing that, it's kind of like we should not encourage anything that the fashion industry does, and we should encourage like fair trade. But like I feel like we're not gonna really like notice that because it's like always covered up.
Well, the fact that these problems occur in other countries in order to get the clothes in my country, in the US, it doesn't surprise me too much because of all the free trade, and we need jobs all around the world. But it doesn't, I sort of already perceived it in that sense, how we need to use other countries, and I guess that's like every country, like Bangladesh and a lot of countries in poverty need to slowly, the poverty needs to increase slowly but surely. So I guess that step, it's a shame, but you can't really skip that part in the economic process.
It doesn't really change my view of it because I feel like I'm not really surprised learning that, because like you hear about sweatshops and all these things. Like I'm not surprised that the people making the clothes aren't being treated fairly.
In response to garment worker rights, the fair trade movement has risen to give a voice to these people. When a product is fair trade certified, it means that that product was made with humane social, environmental, and economic standards. The fair trade movement has gained ground in recent years and is striving to pave a new path for the world to go down. After telling my subjects what fair trade is, I asked them if they would be willing to pay extra cash to buy products that are fair trade certified.
I don't, personally, I'm all about the environment and people being treated fair, but I don't work enough to make enough money. Like when I'm already spending a good amount of money on clothes, I don't know if I can afford spending even more money on clothes than I already am. So no.
I feel like being a good person, you should want that, but I feel like if you think realistically, people wouldn't want to pay more for the clothes that they would get if it were like not certified. So yeah.
No, I would just buy, if it was up to me, I would just buy what's cheaper and nicer.
I would be more willing to pay the extra dollars to buy something that's fair trade over something that's the same thing but cheaper, because I believe that it's, fair to pay the workers who make the clothing a fair amount in the other countries.
I guess it depends. I think like if I was trying to buy less clothes, I might look into like spending more on like to make sure the quality is good, like humane wise. I don't know. I think like when I do look for clothes, I feel like I try to look for the cheapest options though.